Joe Mitchell is a 17-year-old tomboy who lives with her father, who works as a race car driver for NASCAR. The first day of school, she explains that she wants to avoid high school drama and already knows some of the mean-spirited cliques to expect when going to Northshore High School. Then she introduces the school's most popular clique, the Plastics. This time, the Plastics consist of Mandy Weatherly, a rich snobbish girl who lives down the street from Joe, Chastity Meyer, a seemingly slow-witted blonde with a raging libido who is known to randomly hook up with guys, and Hope Plotkin, a snobbish hypochondriac who seems to suck up to Mandy the most. Joe is set to pretty much avoid the Plastics, and she then meets Abby Hanover, a tortured artist who is actually neighbors with Mandy. Abby tells Joe she is a part of the very small welcoming committee, and then a teacher trips, accidentally throwing his shake on Abby. Joe at this point feels very sorry for Abby. Joe takes a shop class with a boy named Tyler DuPont, and she begins to have a small attraction to him despite his slight sexism, so she proves she can really be one of the guys by taking over the project. Mandy wonders about Joe's status as the new girl in school. Abby later makes her situation worse by parking in the Plastics parking space, and then Mandy and the rest of the Plastics do stuff like smashing lunch in her face and paintballing her sports car. Later, Joe gives Abby a ride home and she meets Abby's father, infomercial king Sidney Hanover. Sidney offers Joe college tuition for being a friend to his lonely daughter. Joe accepts and begins to become closer to Abby. She and Tyler also go on a date, where they kiss. If you have come this far in the video, please subscribe to this channel to never miss amazing content like this. But the car is bugged by a voice recorder, and Joe's revelation of how she hasn't had any boyfriends despite moving around a lot, and also being a virgin is heard. Joe gets angry at Tyler.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
How could you set me up like that? You and Mandy are very happy together.
And a trio of girls who aren't as popular reveal they had sex with the same guy and they wish they waited for sex like Joe has. Abby also tells Joe that Tyler is actually Mandy's stepbrother. After Joe and Tyler are labeled hottest couple, a disapproving Mandy begins pranking Joe by messing with her project, which affects her acceptance into her dream college, Carnegie Mellon University. Then Mandy goes too far by filling Joe's dad's race car with coffee and Skinny and Sweet. Joe then decides to get revenge on Mandy by having a party at Abby's house the same night of Mandy's birthday party. More people show up to Abby's party and Quinn, a nerdy fellow outcast student, shows some disdain to how unfancy the party is as opposed to how Mandy would have a party. The Plastics find out about the party and Hope uses some ipecac to put on the pizza served to make the guests throw up. Abby and Joe quickly get rid of the tainted pizza and she serves one slice to Nick, Mandy's boyfriend. Then Joe challenges Mandy.
Where's your boyfriend on your birthday?
You want to see a love life, little virgin? Show you.
Leading her to make out with Nick, and he vomits all over her dress. 1 week later, Joe, Abby, and Quinn start a new clique called the Anti-Plastics, and the Plastics wage war on them. But in the process Joe's whole look changes, and she becomes almost as shallow and conceited as Mandy. Joe then tries to break up the Plastics by exposing Chastity's makeout spots, making it seem Mandy did it due to only her knowledge of the specific areas. Then the girls scare Hope by sneezing all over her, and she decides to go to the spa over the weekend except the Anti-Plastics put green dye in her seaweed facial mask, causing Hope's face to stay green for a long period of time and also causing Mandy to not want to be near her, explaining, "I don't pick up ogres."
I don't pick up ogres. And green?
Joe campaigns for homecoming queen and Mandy, in anger, shoves a cupcake in Chastity's face. Tyler later tells Joe if her rude behavior doesn't change, he may break up with her. Joe then tries to give back the money Sidney Hanover gave her to be friends with Abby. While Joe speaks with Sidney, Mandy overhears of this secret, and she reveals it to the whole school. As a result, Joe loses Abby's friendship, loses Tyler as a boyfriend, and suffering betrayal by Quinn. Joe is then questioned by the principal, Mr. Duval, about some charity money stolen which was found in Joe's back shed. But it was actually stolen by Mandy and Nick, who put there to frame Joe for the theft. In a rage, Joe escalates the war by challenging Mandy to powder puff football.
So we're gonna settle this like men on the battlefield. I challenge you to a football game. Puff style.
And it helps when the rest of the anti-plastics and Tyler offer to help her and prove her innocence with the help of Elliot Gold, a computer hacker and geek, who hacks into the computer system of Joe's grouchy neighbor, who installed cameras to monitor what happens across the street at her house. The powder puff football game is won by the anti-plastics, and Mandy and Nick are arrested for theft when the images of them planting the money in Joe's shed is shown. At the school's homecoming dance, it is announced that Abby and Elliot have been elected as king and queen. Joe and Tyler dance and they get back together. In the concluding scenes, Mandy and Nick have been sentenced to do community service, yet Mandy is allowed to graduate from school since her mother donated a library to Northshore High, but Mandy was never popular again. Quinn became the new leader of the Plastics and made a peace deal with Joe and Abby to disband the anti-plastics and leave the students at peace until graduation. Chastity ended up joining an abstinence club after learning the meaning of her name. Hope braves her fear of germs only to be sneezed on by a jock while getting water from a drinking fountain, and she catches swine flu. Abby and Elliot became boyfriend and girlfriend, and she ends up going to college as an art major. Tyler goes to a close-by college to be near Joe. To this day, Tyler and Joe are still romantically together, and Joe and Abby remain close friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comment section below which movie you want us to recap next. As always, until the next time.